we are less and less in a democracy and more in some kind of dictature.
It's important to show there is a union of all the different movements for protests.
There is not any person in France who wants to work 2 more years.
It's not a revolution yet, but yeah, it's starting to look like this.
The problem is the retirement age to leave will be later, so it will be at 64 years old, and now it's 62, so it's really late. So now, and the problem is that people are becoming more and more poor, so there are huge problems because students have to study later, but they don't have to work, so they can't afford the possibility to pay the different studies, and also because there is no solidarity between the power and all the governments and the people in the street, even if they don't agree with it. The problem is that in France, Macron was elected because it was in front of a right wing with Marine Le Pen and all the nationalist parts. So it wasn't elected because of his program, but to fight against the nationalist and racist politics. So that's the reason we're here today. It's against the racism in the state and also about all the politics with the Loi Darmanin. That is a minister that wants to put forward the possibility to go out for the papers who don't have the good papers to be there. So we're here to say we don't agree with this law and that we are going to demonstrate till the end until it will be known to each other.
C'est important pour essayer de faire bouger les choses. On sait très bien que là, ça fait des semaines qu'on est mobilisés avec des millions et des millions de personnes dans la rue. Que le gouvernement ne veut pas plier, ne veut pas enlever sa réforme des retraites. Et il ne faut pas qu'on lâche, il faut qu'on montre que malgré ça, on continuera à se battre et qu'on est contre cette réforme. Et c'est un peu, voilà, c'est l'histoire de la France, de tous les pays où quand il se passe des choses pour lesquelles on n'est pas d'accord, il faut se battre. Et si on ne se bat pas, on va se faire marcher dessus et c'est pas possible. C'est plus possible qu'on se laisse faire comme ça.
I saw some policemen punch people in the face and random people in the face. People were punched on the floor. They used tear gas a lot in the streets. They blocked streets and every people, protesters or non-protesters, were blocked in the streets when they sent tear gas and people couldn't go away, even some tourists. And I have just one thing to say: don't go in France for the Olympics or anything else. Remember what happened during the football match a few months ago? The police just punched anybody. There isn't. We are less and less in a democracy and more in some kind of dictature. I'm sorry, not the worst, but some kind of dictature. I saw the police arrested every group of young people in the streets a few days ago was arrested and taken to the commissariat, to the police. And here nothing happened. We were just like drinking and talking, and the police with a riot cask and everything comes and just aggress young people in the streets. And this is what happened every day in France.
There is not any person in France who wants to work 2 more years. No one. It's like 93% of the people working don't want to work too much years. 2 more years, sorry. So this is not normal. This is not a democracy if the will of the people is not heard, not respected. So the violent are not the people that are protesting to defend their rights. The violent are the people who are using violence against the people's rights.
In the British media, they have called the French lazy because they're on strike. What would you say?
Well, I don't think we are, because actually we pay the consequence of our laziness. It's just a choice. We're not just we don't want to work. We're protesting every day. We're marching a lot, and even now there's a spontaneous protestation that takes place in Paris when we are being charged and attacked by police. It is really exhausting to do, so we're not lazy at all. Every day I'm protesting and I'm really engaging myself. I have a lot of work to do for my studies, but now I don't find the time to do so because I'm really preoccupied by other things, and my spirit and my body is really engaged in this thing. I'm not just waiting on a sofa watching the TV. I'm really protesting and creating some politics. I'm creating some values.
I think everyone would understand. It would be the same in every country. And if you don't, it's not just because we're lazy. It's because, first of all, it doesn't affect everyone the same. And that's just unfair. Because if we just took 2% of rich people's richness, we wouldn't even have to work longer. So that makes no sense. It's important to demonstrate, to make our voices heard to the government, and to be together with people. I think there is also a sort of catharsis that it's not only you at home, that you come together with people, that you make this body of protests. And I think together it's important to show there is a union of all the different movements for protests, and that's why also it's important to support people without papers. Macron is passing a bunch of laws that is very problematic. There is the pension law, there is this law about immigration, there is the law that get passed with surveillance. So all of this, we need to come together and be in the streets and really have this conscience that we are the people and we need laws that represent our opinions.
This is what they're getting at. And for the lazy part, well, I don't know. I'm a socialist, so I think our goal, productivity has gone up in the last 100 years, I think by times 9, I think. In 1 hour we produce more productivity than we did ever before. And the working time has gone down a bit during that time. So, if we can have the same productivity, have a good productivity and work less, why not do it? Free time is something we should all strive for. And the retirement age, when you're retired, you have free time. You can do whatever you like. You can take care of your children. You can also go in association. You can do community work. Also, you don't have to do salary work per se. You can still work, but you choose what you do. So no, it's not laziness. It's just social rights.
It's a very wise move from Macron. Maybe it's going too far, and maybe he's going to understand and to realize that he can't go that far, and that we, the people, will not accept that. I believe that. I believe that every night Paris is not burning, but there are garbage cans burning all over Paris, and I've been in the demonstrations at night. It's very impressive, and it's a sign that it's not like the usual protestations that we have, demonstrations that we have. We're French people. We have demonstrations once in a while, but this time it's a little bit different. It's stronger. It's more political, and I think it's and I think it's a sign that maybe it's not a revolution yet, but it's starting to look like this.
Do you think politics in France is moving more towards the right?
Yes, I think it's moving to the right, and the problem is that people are scared, people are angry, and when they are angry and scared, they think that far-right politics are a good thing. But the problem is that if we are not benevolent, if we are not, if there is not any solidarity, we won't be able to build a world that could be better. So that's the reason why we are there, to see that another world is possible and a better world. So, and we see like all these weeks and the past weeks, more and more people comes to the street to say that they don't agree and they are being more politicized. So it's a very good thing for us and for all the people. And so that's the reason why we keep on, because we believe in this better world and we believe in the possibility of youth to build.
C'est ce qui nous fait peur à beaucoup, justement. Si justement cette loi passe, le Front National a été très discret dans toutes ces dernières semaines. Là, il commence à se réveiller, il commence à refaire surface, et on a peur justement que tous ceux qui ne croient plus en la politique se dirigent vers le Front National, et c'est ça qui fait peur à beaucoup de monde.
I think in the past 6-7 years, also Holland, he passed some bills that were really like the left, as much as the right. It's a lot of problems with the way it's moving. the extreme right is moving very extreme, and I think Macron, like the neoliberal systems, he's also fueling the feeling of insecurity with all this like terrorism scare, and just to pass more and more laws about surveillance and controlling the population. So in that way, I would say definitely it's moving right and right.
What do you think this is the end for Macron?
It's a bit too early to say. I hope we can keep the pressure coming. We definitely see that people are less and less inclined to believe his lies, which is more and more blatant. However, for now it's a bit difficult because he has the police with him, which is enforcing a lot of violence in the country right now. So I don't know. We hope that by putting pressure in the petroleum industry, hopefully the plane are not going to be able to take off from France. The trash, if everyone goes on strike, we're going to put pressure, and also the other countries, for economical reasons, are going to tell Macron, you need to back off now because it's also hurting the economy.
You're from England, right? I think one of the signs that is in big trouble is that your king is not coming to France, and I think that's one of the signs. And the people who decide usually are in charge of the red carpets for the presidents and kings and things like that, and they're on strike too, and they said that they were not going to put the red carpet for the king. So maybe that's the reason why he's not coming.
For the first republic we made, we had a constitution that allowed the right to make a revolution, which was a really nice constitution. So it was said when the government is against the people and oppressing the people, you have the right to the insurrection. That was in the constitution, okay? So we are people who knew like 5 or 6 revolutions, and Macron should know it. So we won't stop, I think. We won't stop until he stops with his project.